Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 7. So we are about 3 weeks or so away from the return roughly of The Flash to our screens with its 7th season, or Season 7. But of course, last week we got the second trailer for Season 7, which did reveal a few new details and surprises heading into the new season, some of which we've already discussed in some videos and some we have not. So in this video, we are going to be going over that potential Reverse Flash teaser and setup, as well as other information that relates to the future of that character in the show, as well as a few other minor questions from the promo material that's dropped recently that you guys, had. I think that works. Is that English? Let's move on. But of course, throughout the video, and I guess after the video as well, feel free to let me know your various opinions, thoughts, theories, and everything like that in the comments section down below. Do you think Reverse Flash is coming back? Just say yes or no. That's all I'm curious about, because we can do a poll if we want to. But yeah, just let me know all your opinions down there in the comments. I'm always curious. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, why not drop a like on it? It takes 2 seconds, helps the channel. Now, the first thing that it has to be brought up, like it's the obvious thing it has to be brought up, and that's just due to the fact it pushes along really any discussion that comes about with Reverse Flash and at least the near future of the character, and just the show itself setting up stuff for later down the road. But in regards to the near future, it was thanks to Grant Gustin and an interview he did in which we referenced back to a decent amount, and that was when he revealed shortly after the finale, if you want to call it, for Season 6, which obviously wasn't meant to be the finale, that originally for Season 6, the cliffhanger, or one of the cliffhangers might I say, was going to be Reverse Flash related. Now initially he said Thorn related, I think, but then it was like doubled down again later on to confirm that it was Reverse Flash he was talking about. Now, as I'm sure most of us do remember, towards the end of Season 6 of The Flash, we had an episode called The Exorcism of Nash Wells, which had Eobard Thawne taking control of Nash Wells' body, or at least attempting to take full control of the body, due to the fact that anyone that had previously been a Wells was like a part of him following Crisis. They haven't actually fully explained that, and that, funnily enough, I think that's what episode 1 of Season 7 is going to be, because the episode is called All's Wells That Ends Wells, so you have to think it's tied to that. So in episode 1, we should find out a good amount. However, thanks to Barry, Cisco, and just Nash himself, they were able to prevent Eobard Thawne from taking over completely, and we saw his spirit, if you want to call it. Spirit's the word I've been using, but we saw his spirit leave Nash's body and go elsewhere. Where did he go? We don't know. We have no idea. And it was well thought that it could have been that planned cliffhanger that it could have explained where he went, or at least a tease as to where he went. But this leads into what was seen in the trailer for Season 7 that was released about a week ago, and that was the very final shot. Almost like an end credit scene for the trailer, if you want to think about it. So maybe they're throwing signs out there, I don't know. But anyway, that final scene, or shot, whatever you want to call it, had Nash in front of that device for the new Speed Force, by the looks of it, saying, "Run, Barry, run," to Barry. And it wasn't just your typical one that anyone would say, or more specifically any versions of Wells in the past could say. It was done in the fashion and the style and the tone and the delivery that the Eobard Thawne Wells would say it. And it wasn't just a minor thing that like 1 out of like every 10 or 15 people picked up on. Pretty much everyone was saying after that trailer ended, like, hold on. Stop the presses. Was that Eobard? Was that Eobard? He said the thing like Eobard does. And, I agree. It sounded like it. Now, obviously, as I've laid out in this video already, how is that possible? How is Thawne in Nash Wells' body again? And speaking to Barry, they spent an entire episode towards the end of last season, which would have only been like 4 or 5 episodes before this one, because it was meant to be in Season 6, like potentially that episode. They spent an entire episode getting Thorn's spirit out of Nash's body, and we literally saw his spirit fly away like Voldemort style. So what the hell's going on here? And yeah, that's right. It really doesn't make a lot of sense for Thawne to still be in there when we saw all of that happen. They spent an entire episode doing it, unless it's some weird explanation where Thawne took over another Wells on another Earth in the former multiverse, which could explain it, I guess, how he can still communicate through Nash Wells. But for it to make sense from what we've seen on the show at the very least, I think it has to maybe be something that a few people have brought up to myself, just, Twitter and stuff and Instagram, and just a thing I've seen in the comment section of videos as well. Like a lot of you have been typing it in there. And that is that the scene that we are seeing take place, obviously on screen right now, between Nash or Thawne potentially, and of course Barry in front of that new Speed Force device thingy, is actually taking place in the Mirrorverse. There is a way they could make it that if Barry gets access to the Mirrorverse, which you would think they would do at some point, whether it is episode 1, episode 2, or episode 3, or maybe they don't, I don't know. But for the sake of this discussion, he does get access to it. That there is a way in which Eobard can make his presence known in there. I do think it's a massive stretch just because of the way that the Mirrorverse works and like Eva's controlling it. And you would have to think that Eobard, or if Eobard was going to be able to access the Mirrorverse, he would appear as himself, whether that be like proper Thorn or the version of Worlds that he actually properly took over, not Nash. Am I the only one that thinks that? I don't think it necessarily makes sense to him being like for him to be in the Mirrorverse but look like Nash. Unless they make it that the version of Nash that was out in the real world was always a mirror version and the real one was always in the Mirrorverse. And then technically I guess Thorn could still be in Wells' body there. I think that's the only way it would make sense, I think. But that's definitely one of the big questions heading into season 7. Obviously, from last season, like, you know, Iris getting out, dealing with Mirror Master, setting some other stuff up, Barry getting his speed back. Those are obviously questions, and we'll get into something in relation to those in a second. But this is definitely, I mean, gone to like number 1 on people's question lists, and that's what the hell's going on with Nash Wells, and was that actually Thorn? What's going on with Thorn in general? I think it's definitely the number 1 question for the majority of viewers of the show, at least the ones that watch the trailer at least. But yeah, there are some other questions which aren't going to be like dedicated to a video because I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. So we're just going to go quickly through them. I'm going to go like rapid fire. You know, load up your guns. Actually, don't load up your water pistols. Load up your water pistols. Anyway, first one. When does Iris get out of the mirror world / Mirrorverse? It's Mirrorverse on the show. I call it Mirror World because that's what it is in the comics. Anyway, Mirrorverse on the show. I think episode 2, because I think the finale for Mirror Master's story is going to be in episode 3. It could be episode 4, but I think episode 3 sounds more likely because there were 3 episodes left in season 6 before they had to end. So it makes sense they'd use the opening 3 episodes of season 7 to wrap those final 3 episodes up. So I would say episode 2 she gets out. It might be the cliffhanger. It might be towards the beginning of the episode. But yeah, don't expect to get an episode 1, in my opinion at least. I think it'll be episode 2. And God forbid 3, but I think 2 is the good spot for her to get out. This is a good one. This is actually something that a lot of people have maybe not asked this exact question, but their worries and thoughts are around the same topic, if you want to call it. And that's how will the show balance both Cisco and Chester? If you don't remember, because the news came out a while ago, because it's almost been like, it's been 10 months since The Flash would have been on when the show comes back. So it's been a while, and it's been about a year since this news came out, if not more, that the actor who played Chester P. Runk was up to a regular. So he's a series regular. He's a main character on the show now. So how will the show balance Cisco and Chester when they play the same sort of role on the show? And I think the answer to that is Cisco goes back out in the field. There were set photos which showed Cisco with like vibe gear and stuff. Not saying he necessarily gets his vibe powers back, but it's something in that realm or region, if you want to call it. So I think he'll go back out in the field and he'll play more of like a practical role, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. So we might get like Flash, Frost, and Vibe. Those would be like the main 3 people out in the field. There's no more elongated man, so they have to use another hero there to fill the gap. And it wouldn't surprise me too much if they put Vibe back out in the field and gave him some tech. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. I don't know if Cisco's in episode 1 of this season, because obviously it was like relating to last season, so I don't know if he's there or not. He might be back episode 2, but we know Killer Frost is back for episode 1, I think. And this is the other one. This is the final question. That's why was there no Godspeed stuff or no Godspeed footage in the promo, like the trailer that they released last week? Like they've talked about him being the main antagonist, or at least for the opening part of the season, if not the entire season. So why didn't they show anything for him? And the big reason for that is that pretty much when you get a trailer before the show comes out, like the season comes out, it's pretty rare they show any footage past episode 3 or 4. You might get some episode 4 footage, but usually it's episodes 1 to 3. And in some cases, if it's a brand new show, it's only episode 1. Like with Superman and Lois, we'll probably only get episode 1 footage. They won't do anything after it. But with The Flash, and we even saw it with Batman, we'll probably see it with the other shows, you'll probably get to like episode 3, maybe 4. And with that Flash trailer, from what I could tell, it's all footage from episodes 1 through to 3. And even from set photos and stuff, Godspeed still hasn't been seen on set. They've been filming outside a decent amount, so we don't even know when he's showing up in this season. It might be a lot of indoor stuff, or like stuff outside where they can easily film without being seen. That's where Godspeed's showing up. But I wouldn't expect Godspeed until maybe close to like halfway through the season, maybe like around in episode 6, 7, 8 or something like that. I don't expect him like in episode 3 or episode 2, because you'd be disappointing yourself, especially if you want to see Godspeed. So that's the reason he hasn't been in promo stuff, just because he's not going to be in stuff until later on. Because it is just very important to remember, they still got to wrap up the story from last season, where Mirror Master is the main focus. But yeah guys, that's pretty much all to talk about. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over in this video, any theories you have. I'm always curious. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.